Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show.
All right, what's going on? I'm recording from my iPad again. I'm laying down on my air mattress because I don't want to have to get my microphone and do all that horse shit. So I said yesterday that I was going to dedicate an episode to this. So maybe I'll do that now. But Lexi and I got that townhome. So they sent us the lease. We reviewed it together tonight. Went over everything, and before I actually went over to Lexi's to review everything. I actually was talking to the guy a little bit more that's handling our lease and stuff, and we were able to get a longer deal or a longer lease. Hopefully that means that the price stays locked in, but it does explicitly say on the lease that they can raise the rent and things like that. So I'm not holding my breath. I really don't, I guess prepare for the worst, hope for the best, prepare for the worst kind of thing. So hope that they, lower the rent, but prepare for the fact that they're probably going to raise it just because of that's just how the housing market is. He said it could go up 4% all the way up to 10. 4% is about $100. 10% is about, or 10% is $240. So I don't know. Not a huge deal if you ask me. I think by the time that we even get to that point, I'm sure things will be better off. But anyway, so we got the lease, reviewed it, pretty cool. Got a longer term. That's going to be sent to us tomorrow, and which I'm going to sign, which is cool. So that means we could probably get the keys and stuff. We can't move in for another 2 weeks, which is fine. But I don't know. I don't think we're going to actually move in until the last week of September, just due to our schedules. Mainly Lexi's. She's got a lot going on right now, and I don't think that is a high priority considering the fact that she has an extra 2 weeks now rather than just 3 days. So, and then I've got a whole month and a half, goddamn. But anyway, so I kind of wanted to talk about this in the context of what I'm doing and me, as this podcast is documentation, obviously. So I have never lived, I'm just trying to think of some stats here. I've never lived with a girl, never lived with just one person. I've never, so so there's some stats there, I guess, whatever. But I've also never, so this is probably the last week, or the last, you can say it's a whole month. This is the last month of my whole life that I'll ever be living alone again. Now, I say that obviously with the picture in my head that Lexi's it, and I believe she is. And I don't say I believe, I don't know, I think, she is, for sure. And whatever. So this is probably going to be the last time I ever live alone. Now, I might go on a work trip and I might have a hotel by myself. I don't know. But living alone, where all the shit in my house is mine and nobody else's, and anything that happens in my house is because of me and not anybody. Last month ever in my life. So, I mean, when else would that the next time that would happen would be when we're 95 years old and Lexi dies or something like that because she's of old age and I'm just hanging out in the house by myself. That's the next time. Kind of a sad thought, but I mean, if fucking facts on the table, that's what it is, So, hell yeah. Now, when I was younger, I desperately wanted to move out of my mom's house just because I was young and that we were just, we're clashing a lot. And honestly, the second that I moved out, she just became the most amazing woman in my life. My mom did. And I love her to death. But when we were living together and I was younger, we were just clashing, button heads a lot. And I wanted so badly to move out, and I was doing a lot of fitness stuff at the time. And it's funny because I was much more insecure back then and shy and things like that. And I was like, if I could just get my own place, then I could record all the videos that I want and not have the fear of anybody judging me or whatever, making fun of me or laughing at me. Truthfully, I think my mom wouldn't have. I think my little brother would have been fine too. But my stepdad at the time was a piece of shit. Made me kind of feel stupid when I would try to do anything. But it's a different story. So, yeah, how do I lose my train of thought that quick? It happens so much now. What's going on? Whatever. So, townhome. Last time living alone. Yes, I really badly wanted to move out and get my own place so that I could do my own thing, record the videos, and, have a green screen in my front room, do whatever I want to do, take professional photos. That's why I wanted to move out. And maybe that's what started the whole notion of me not wanting any furniture, because I moved from my mom's house to St. George, and I had a place with 5 roommates. They were all party guys. I actually ran into them the other day at the gym, which was cool. And I had my own room, didn't have my own place by any means, and definitely wasn't doing any kind of videos or whatever. Then I moved to Arizona, and I moved to downtown Arizona, so downtown Phoenix, and got a place in a little high-rise, which is cool, and that was fun. But I did have roommates, and I just stayed in my room. And my room was probably smaller than my office right now. So, I don't know, 10 by 10, 100 square feet maybe. I had a couple closets and a bathroom and my own shower, which is great. And that was my first, no. I had roommates, but that was nothing. I had roommates. And then 3 or 4 months later, I moved into my first ever place that was purely mine. This is still in Phoenix technically, but if you ask me, it was in, what's the other one? Glendale. It was in Glendale, Arizona. It was it was on Thunderbird, right? It was the area code of 85304. It was 85053 maybe? 85304, 85306. One of those. Right off Thunderbird. So that's where I was at. Anyway, that was my first ever place by myself. First ever place. And it was kind of shitty. The carpet was gross. It was kind of torn up in some spots. I had sliding doors for closets, and they would just swing back and forth because they weren't hooked onto a rail. I had all the wooden cabinets and stuff were all chipped, and the paint, I don't even think it was paint, but whatever it was, the laminate, I don't know, it was peeling. And everything, it looked like the place was built in maybe like 1990, and it's fine. But that was my first ever place that I got to myself. And what's cool is that's actually when I did start. That's actually where this podcast idea was born, because I was like, I'm going to make a podcast. I'm going to call it, the BQ POV Daily Podcast Show, which I think was the first name of this BQ POV Daily Podcast Show. Holy fuck, what a throwback. The BQ POV Daily Podcast Show. That's what I was. I think it's like episode 14. That's when the BQ POV Daily Podcast Show. That's what it was called. Started off as BCast. Because what the fuck, I don't know. But the thing that stuck the most is Bed Project or Bryson Everyday Project. Bed stands for Bryson Everyday, in case anybody's slow as fuck there. But anyway, that was my own place. Started recording videos. Never posted them. Had the idea for a podcast. Recorded some. Never posted them. And actually, I'm going to back up. So before I moved there, I was going to work, and then I would come home, sit in my bed, and I would just sit there and watch Prison Break. So imagine me going to work for FedEx in Arizona in the scorching heat, which I loved, but then finishing my shift, probably grabbing some food, coming home, sitting in my bed watching 5 episodes of Prison Break. That's what I did. Now, obviously, I didn't do that every day, but I do remember that. I had the idea of starting a clothing brand, so I ordered my first samples and got some clothing. I called it Havoc Athletics, which Havoc stands for Have a Vision of Creation. Or I thought it was hustle, ambition, vision. What was the O? I can't remember what the O was. And then C was create. What was the O? Operate? Opportunity? I can't remember. But I got some samples. They came from China, maybe? Taiwan? I don't know. But 2 of them I still wear to this day, which is pretty cool. And it's a little reminder to myself, I put it on. I mean, I never think about it, but now that I am talking about it, it's got the logo that I made. It's just an H hidden within a tally mark with Havoc, which is 5 letters. Tally mark is 5, like a tally mark bundle. It's a bundle of 5 letters, 5 strikes. There's an H inside. You could actually extract an A and a V, and technically you could get a C in there if you try, but there's no O. But anyway, I was going to do that, and I quickly realized how expensive it is to get started with clothing. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't look into it enough, but definitely didn't have any kind of capital to be doing any of that. So, I got a lot of samples. I was going to do shorts, but the sample shorts that I got, it took them like 4 weeks to get to my house. Oh, shit, dude. And then when they finally got there, they were way too small. So I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. But I still have 2 of the shirts that I got, which is cool. And anyway, I think after that, I just kind of hit a wall. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So I continued working FedEx. That's when I moved again. And then I got really into gaming for a second there because my little brother and I would play Minecraft religiously. Like, that's all we did. And I got to be honest, it was some of the most fun times I've had playing with my little brother. And it's times like that I miss the most. And that's all I did. I mean, I have a lot of photos and videos of me in that place. So whenever these episodes get surfaced to where I can almost attach photos and things like that to them, maybe I should be doing that. I should be scrapbooking all this shit, but whatever. I got to take more photos. I'm good at documenting with audio, but for photos and video, I'm so bad. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, that was the first time I ever had a place to myself. And I thought that was cool as shit. I could do whatever. I came home to my place. I did whatever I wanted. I didn't do anything crazy or anything stupid. But just knowing that when I came home, it was just me. And I didn't have to greet anybody. I didn't have to entertain anybody. Nobody demanded my attention. If I wanted to come home and immediately start playing video games, I could. And a lot of the times I did. And then I, made some friends at work, was more like coworker friends, but whatever. I dated this girl there that didn't work out, and obviously. And so that's pretty much it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Colorado because I want to keep on exploring and doing stuff, but I don't want to go back home. I think part of me kind of felt like a failure if I would have moved home but still didn't accomplish it. And I don't know. So I moved to Colorado and got a great paying job with FedEx. And it paid great, actually. I was making almost $400 a day with the amount of stops that I was doing because I was able to do up to 300 in about an 8-hour shift. So I was getting almost $400 a day. I have episodes talking about this for sure. It's probably some of the earliest ones, but yeah. So I think I was projected to be like hitting $96,000 or something like that for the year if I would have kept on with what I was doing. Fast forward, the whole point of this is to talk about where I lived. Holy fuck. So I moved to Colorado, got my own place there, and it was in one unit, whatever. It was a very nice apartment. I liked it a lot. And was called Montaigne in Parker, Colorado. And so I got there. Turns out that specific unit that I got was infested with roaches, which sucked. And that made for one hellish of a week or maybe 2 weeks. Then they moved me into a new unit. They said they upgraded me, but it was a shittier, smaller unit, but whatever. So they upgraded me. I got the new one. And then I lived there for 4 months. And again, same place. I had my own place. This one was much nicer. But I think this is kind of where I didn't quit, but I was just, I think I caved in a little bit. And this is where things got dark for me, which is I stopped like training at the gym kind of altogether. And I accepted that. I was like, I'm just not going to lift anymore. Like that wasn't my monologue, but it was more like, yeah, because I was hitting the gym like once or twice a week, if that. And at that, maybe once or twice a month. And I was cool just, I took a lot of pride in the work that I did with FedEx because I was able to just bust ass and make money. And it was, it was cool. I worked very hard throughout the day, and then I was done. I came home, and then I was able to just relax. And most of the time I was able to get home around 2 or 3 o'clock. And so what I did was I just gamed, and I just did a whole bunch of that. And it was fun. I enjoyed it. And then I was like, dude, I want to really try beers and get into beers. And so I would just buy alcohol, those little single serve ones at Smith's or Ralph's or wherever you're from, Kroger. And I would just drink. And I did that solo by myself, just drinking alcohol, playing. Like, that's what I was doing. And I've told this story before. I haven't told it in a while. But the thing that kind of got me out of it was there was one singular moment where my mom sent me a happy birthday card in the mail. And it was one of those ones that sang to you. I opened it up. So, for context, still don't have furniture, have no desire to get furniture. Front room is just completely desolate. There's nothing in there. Hardwood floor, walls, that's it. No exaggeration, that's it. And so I open up the card. It's like, happy birthday to you. So it sings to me. And then when it stops singing, I just remember it almost like echoed. Like I could hear the reverb within my little front room. And I heard that, and it was just empty. Like my mom, I could see her handwriting. I missed her so much. Happy birthday. Reverb in the front room. And then it was just silent. And something about that for me, I think at this point I had already decided I wanted to move home. But then when I got this card, opened it, saying that it was empty, I just remember looking around. I remember standing right by my door, facing the patio door, kind of towards my room, had my backpack on, probably just came home from work, got the mail, standing there, opened it up, sang to me, closed it. I looked around and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And that's kind of when I went gung-ho with reaching out to my uncle to get a job at Hill Air Force Base, then moving in with him in a couple months, and then moving to Utah, getting a job, all that shit. Then I moved back home to Utah. Then I lived with my uncle and my aunt. So obviously I'm not living alone anymore. Then a year later, almost on the dot, I moved into the place that I'm at now, and I've been here ever since. So it's been about 1.5 years now, and I've been solo. And so there's a little backstory of the history of me living by myself. But I just remember from the start, it was such a big goal for me to get my own spot. And, there was plenty of time. I don't know if there's plenty of times, but there was a few times where I had the opportunity to move in with a friend and we would just split rent. And truthfully speaking, I would have saved a lot of money, and we probably could have gone through with that. But I always said, no, dude, like, I'm sorry. It's nothing against you. I just want my own spot. I just don't want roommates. And I think that was a good call for me in hindsight. But also maybe I missed out on some good times. I don't know. But I didn't want to just move out. I wanted to get my own spot. So I had opportunities to move out with friends and move out, because that was the goal, but it wasn't my own spot. And I think that, Well, there were times where I was in, well, I'm not going to share details on this one, but there were times where I was like, I could probably have my mom move in with me. I could probably support her, if she is working as well. And I was like, well, then my little brother would be here as well. That's not a problem, but like I want my own spot. And so like nothing ever required me to help out in this way, but the thoughts crossed my mind. And I was like, I think I would just rather have my own place and then maybe they deal with their shit. That's kind of the stubbornness I had with wanting my own spot. So I share all that to say I wanted my own spot and I wanted my own spot. And so to be in a position now where I'm about to move in with my girlfriend, Lexi, and it's going to be, I'm planning on it being the last time I ever live alone this month. The fact that I'm in this position now and stoked about it, that just shows a lot of growth, shows a lot of probably maturity, shows a lot of, I guess just growth from where I was and the mentality shift to where I'm at now. Because I'm excited for this. Like I'm genuinely excited. I'm not even saying these things because I know Lexi's listening. I'm going to interject real quick and say that she's probably the only person on planet Earth who has listened to all 684 episodes. There's actually 720 or something like that at the time of this recording, but she's the only person who's listened to every single one. I think Shawnee is a very close second. That's my aunt. Everybody else, I'm not sure. I think I have some guesses, but I don't know. So anyway, now moving in with her in 2 to 3 weeks. It's a 3-bedroom townhome, so I guess technically 3-bathroom. But if it doesn't have a tub, it's a half of bathroom, which, I mean, I get it, but like it's a shitter. So there's 3 shitters, and there's 3 bedrooms. So there's the master bedroom, and then there's 2 smaller bedrooms. One of them is going to be my office, and I'm looking forward to making that happen. And yeah, I think I'm just looking forward to this change all around because, as much as I like being by myself doing my own thing, sometimes it kind of sucks, Like whenever I leave a family event or Lexi goes home or I come home after doing whatever, I come home and, my air is running, it's cool in here, all the lights are off, obviously. There's no music playing because I left them. Nobody else is here. No lights are on. All the windows are shut because I'm weird like that. I like my privacy. So I just come home to this, cool, kind of dimly, I don't want to say dimly lit, there's no lights, but like just cool, dark is too extreme, but like this cold, dark place. And it's like I don't know. I think I just miss that feeling of I could walk out of the room and strike up a conversation with somebody. Or I could, like if I hear noises, I know that it's Lexi and not someone trying to break in. You know what I mean? If you've listened to the last 100 episodes, you'll get that one. But yeah, I don't know. And it's interesting because I work from home now. So part of me feels like nothing's really changing much for me. I just get to see Lexi every day now. And it's not like I'm going over there or she's coming over here. It's kind of like, it's kind of like she just comes over every day. So I wake up, I sit at my desk, work, hit the gym, come home, work, whatever, and then Lexi comes home. So you could just flip it because every Saturday night is our date night, and she comes over, and I want to put her on the spot here in a good way, but I'm going to lose my train of thought if I do. So she'll come over every Saturday, and we have a date night, and then she stays the night or whatever. And that's just how life is going to be when we move in together. Every night, she's going to come over, if you want to look at it that way, and then we're going to probably make dinner, have a good time, talk about our day, and then go to sleep, wake up and do it again. So rather than me going to work physically to another location and coming home, like I still feel like I get that time to myself, which I am a huge fan of. I love my space. I love doing my own thing. I love being unbothered. And I just love that a lot. And for context, I guess, one of the girls that I was dating 5 years ago, I don't know, that's actually why everything ended, was because I was like, hey, I just need my own space. Like, I got to do my own shit. She didn't handle that well, and, see you later. So the only reason why I share this is because that, like, I would rather have my own space, do my own thing, be unbothered, and then have that balance of, like, interaction with other people. I would rather have that than have that be infringed upon. I think it's different now because I absolutely love Lexi, and I've never once been like, fuck, like, you got to get, never once. And again, no, I know she's listening, but I'm not saying that just to say, I've never once been like, fuck, like, can you just leave? I've never once, which is great. I mean, we've gone on 4 road trips together. Not once was I like, fuck, I can't wait to get out of this car. Not once. I enjoyed every single second of every time, every minute we spent together. So, hell yeah. But I'm going to put her on the spot in a good way. So, she has willingly decided to come over here and spend almost every weekend here at my house with me since she moved here. Almost every single one. She has packed a bag with her clothes, with her toiletries, with her things to come here for maybe multiple reasons, but it makes it so much easier for me. It's so much easier for me to work and get stuff done, knowing that I don't have to do much other than make sure my house is not on fire. She comes over and we do our thing here. She goes through the hassle of packing a bag, picking outfits, making sure she's got everything she needs. Half the time she forgets stuff, not in a like a forgetful way, but like more probably of an annoyed way of like, holy shit, like I just want to have this thing with me, but I always forget to pack it. So I just, it wouldn't be a problem. Like if we lived together, I would always have this thing, kind of thing. So, and I really just so much appreciate it because it is something that you can easily take for granted. It just makes my life 10 times easier, more convenient, more whatever, like all the things. It makes it that 10 times better. I never asked her to do this. I have offered a handful of times to go over to her house. She declines. She comes over here. For whatever reason, it just makes my life 10 times easier. And as much as I would hate to say it, I guess, but I think that small little action has played such a huge role in the connection or the relationship building that we have up to this point. Because I think with me wanting to do the things that I'm doing right now, and to have somebody in my life that says, hey, come over, I don't think I would do well with that at all. I think it would be another like, hey, no, if that bothers you and it's really, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I got shit going on. You got to get your own shit going on. That has never been the case with Lexi whatsoever. She'll text me sometimes and say, like, sorry, I'm being so needy. And I'm like, I don't think that at all. Like, I don't think you're not even close, And it's like, she'll ask me to come over during the week. And it's like, if I say no or whatever, then she'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm being needy. I'm like, no, you're not being needy at all. Like, this is the first time in 17 months you've asked me to come over on not a Saturday or not a Sunday or whatever, I'm exaggerating to paint the picture that it has just made my life 10 times easier. So massive shout out to Lexi. I love you so much. So now that we are moving in with one another here in a couple weeks, so the lease starts on the 15th. So technically we can move in less than 2 weeks. And I think I'm going to slowly move boxes over. But I don't know. I'm not going to sleep there until Lexi can also sleep there, because I don't want this to be, my townhome. I want it to be ours. I don't want everything that we do there to be a team effort. I want it to be an us thing. I don't want to, I have no problem moving everything in solo while she's at work or something. But as far as kind of doing anything there, I'm not going to I'm not going to cook dinner there and eat dinner there while she's not there. I'm going to have dinner with her for the first time. We're going to sleep in the bed the same time or the same day, whatever. We're going to wake up. We're going to go to the gym. We're going to whatever together at that place. It's a team effort. It's just unity, and I want that. So I'm eager to get my ass in there because honestly, it's like I've already, when we pay tomorrow, we're going to be paying for the half month, I guess. But I got to pay another month at this place after the fact, which sucks. But like I have to pay it anyway, so it's kind of like, I have to do it, whatever. Let's just get it over with. So I technically have 2 months left here, but whatever. So there's a little backstory on the living situation. I'm stoked for what's to come in the next few weeks, and I'm very much looking forward to the lifestyle shift. You know, like for example, and I haven't brought this up to Lexi yet. So Lex, if you're listening, which you are, I know you are, here's this idea. So Lexi and I talked about doing 75 hard at the same time, but her concern was that she would have to wake up much earlier than she would like and then run and do an outdoor workout in the dark of a place that she's brand new in and doesn't feel safe doing that. And of course, it's a very reasonable thing. I would hate to say, no, you have to do it, blah, blah, blah. And then, something happens because she was outside at 4 a.m. running or something, So, just be smart about it. But now that we'd be under the same roof with a schedule that is somewhat similar, we could absolutely do that now. And to think that I would have a 75 hard buddy or that I'd be doing it with somebody who wants to do it as badly or as much as I do, that's pretty cool. And that's just 75 hard. I mean, think about everything else. Like this is a new phase for me, a new phase of life. And I'm very much looking forward to it. Small things like, text me when you're home. We won't have to text that anymore. So in some ways it's bittersweet, text me when you wake up, text me before you go to sleep, just small things like that. For the record, that is absolutely not what we say or do. It's not like, I think the only thing is like, hey, text me when you get home. That's it. But just knowing that won't be a thing anymore, kind of bittersweet, but also cute because like I won't have to text her because I'll just walk upstairs and I'll say, hey, I'm home. So kind of cute. But yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to it. I think I have more to say about other things, but I'm just going to keep this all about the moving in aspect of things. So that's all I got. It is currently 11:10 p.m. and on September 2nd, 2025. Oh, man. And that is episode, 684 or something? I don't know. That's it. Love you guys. Bye-bye.